I've got to take that you're going to disagree with, and I know it. I already know.
No, you don't know that. You don't know that.
Okay.
I agree with a lot of things you say.
Okay.
I like how you disagreed with him saying you're going to disagree with
Right.
him.
So good.
I'm not going to disagree.
So
He said disagree.
So good.
You don't know that. Stop assuming.
Put that in for the doobies. Just
stop
file
assuming.
that away.
Stop assuming.
You just sometimes just refuse to acknowledge my enlightenment.
See, here's the problem. What it is, you like some of my friends. You listen, but you don't really hear me. You're listening, but you're not really hearing me. What did I miss? You miss a lot of things because you say it all the time. Bonte, I always do this. You say something, and then 3 months later, I was go, damn, Bonte did have a point.
Because I was
late to the trade. Yes.
It's called saturation.
You gotta
I let your thoughts saturate and marinate into my brain.
And I do too.
And then, a mature individual realizes where they're, have some blind spots. And then they grow from the situation.
Kyle Kelly, I'm with Kyle Kelly here. Kyle Kelly on YouTube, new Doobie Award category, flip-flop of the year. Oh, I love that. The flip-flop of the year.
I'm in on that.
I'm with that. If you ain't flipping, what did Marcus buy? Where's that drop at? Can you play that drop? We don't play it enough. It's one of my favorite drops. If you ain't flipping at this moment.
Whoa,
what?
So,
you got that drop?
Yes.
No. Okay. Remember, we had this whole move to the new building. We lost all the drops. If I don't play it, we don't have it.
So like the Niners.
I have to go through a whole show from another. I don't even know when I played that drop. So.
Can we work with some premises here? I want to. All right,
so I want to hear what I'm going to disagree about.
I want to hear a philosophical conversation. No, let's have this conversation.
You want to hear philosophical?
No. Look, is Debo a great player? I think he is. When he's healthy, he's a great player, right? Brandon Ayuk, I think, is a great player when he's healthy. I think Kittle's a great player when he's healthy. I'm not sure Jimmy Garoppolo was ever a great player. I think he was good. When Brock's played well, I think he's played great. Okay, so I think my working premise is I believe Brock to be better than Jimmy Garoppolo at a variety of things. I think he's a better football player and a better quarterback. So that's where I'm starting at.
Are you expecting me to disagree with that?
No.
At that point? Okay, all right.
Did they have a prolific offense in 2019?
No.
In terms of passing?
The numbers say they were better passing because Jimmy almost threw for 4,000. He should have threw for over 4,000, but remember how many fourth quarters he sat out because the Niners were blowing teams away.
Their defense was elite. Would you agree?
It was very, very good.
Yeah, it was elite. So I'm just looking at like their rushing totals, right? And Breida and Mostert, they were 700, 600, and even Tevin Coleman had 500. They ran for 2,300 yards, okay? That's a lot of yards to run for. They were a run-first team.
And I think they ran for something similar last season.
I'm getting to that. So we get to the receiving, and Debo was a rookie. He had 800 yards. The guy who led the way was George Kittle, and he missed 2 games. He had 1,000 yards, barely over 1,000. Emmanuel Sanders was here for 10 games. He had 500 yards. In 2021, with BA basically starting in the doghouse, right? Remember, he started in the doghouse. Elijah Mitchell led the team in running with 900 yards. Debo became the weapon that we love. He only ran for 360, but Debo as a pass catcher caught 1,400 yards. Kittle had his 900, and then Ayuk followed behind with 800 yards. Where I'm going at with this is that all of those years, I wouldn't say they were a pass-happy team, and yet they had tremendous success. I thought they lost a bunch of games in 2021 that were winnable games. Why are we so afraid of removing one or both wide receivers when I'm kind of showing you that, like, Kittle is going to be Kittle and we could find other guys to get production? Do I want to keep all these guys? Of course I want to keep all these guys. But if I'm working premise and start with Brock is better than Jimmy, then I believe they can get comparable production from a variety of wide receivers. I mean, Kendrick Bourne was a good player for this team. A really good player for this team. And I don't believe very much in his talent. So if I drafted, and let's say, hypothetically, even if I moved off both of those playmakers in Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, which I wouldn't want to do, but if I had to, I think your offense isn't going to be bottom of the league. I still believe they'll be able to run the ball with Christian McCaffrey. I still believe they'll find a way to get George Kittle his 1,000 yards, and they'll find a couple of receivers, whether it's off the free agency bucket list or out of the draft, to give them 750 yards receiving.
So you're willing to trade Debo and Brandon Ayuk? It sounds like you're there.
No, this is what I'm saying.
It sounds like you're there because I
don't think it's the end of the world.
What am I supposed to disagree? It's not the end of the world if they trade them.
If they trade one or both.
So now you got to replace your starting wide receivers. And you bring in two guys. And remember,
I'm saying hypothetically.
Hold on. We're going to play this. I'm going to play this hypothetical with you.
Hypothetically.
Before I disagree with you, I'm going to play the hypothetical with you.
Hypotheticals.
We're going to play the hypothetical with you. I'm going to play this game with you. That's what I do. And then we'll get to whether or not I disagree with you.
Which I can already tell by your tone.
I'm already leaning because I'm going to lay it out hypothetical, and I think you're going to agree with me on this one. Get rid of both wide receivers, and you fill those spots. And before you cut me off,
I'm saying you could get
one or the both. You said one or the both, or both,
or big or.
Now Christian McCaffrey is going to see 8 in the box every single.
He kind of already does.
No, he doesn't. I mean, not as much.
The Super Bowl was literally that.
Yeah, well,
and you had all the weapons.
Well, the quarterback couldn't get the ball down the field. That's another conversation, right? Am I not like? What am I? Am I lying? Am I lying?
I just continue to go back to this.
Come on, man. We're gonna really try to get rid of both wide receivers and expect two guys where the free agency market's already dried up, and we're gonna depend on two rookies to replace the production of Deebo Samuel, who's an All-Pro, was an All-Pro, and you forgot. Have we already forgotten that Brandon Ayuk was second-team All-Pro on a team that does not pass the ball? Brandon Ayuk was second-team All-Pro.
I mean, you're kind of answering my question because if you're a team that doesn't pass the ball, why would you invest $60 million, $55 million of your roster into two guys who, you're not going to throw to as much as teams that are more pass-happy?
But so you're going to just replace these wide receivers, get rid of your wide receivers,
I'm open to moving off of one.
Playing in the league that on money downs, you're going to face a lot of third downs. You're going to have to throw the ball at some. You can't just run the wing T offense or the wishbone and just run the ball down people's throats.
That's obvious.
The Niners, it was proven in the Super Bowl. You couldn't run the ball because they're running into brick walls because teams took that away. Look, I'd be willing to get rid of Deebo before Ayuk, but right now I'm not willing to get rid of either because I need Brock Purdy to have all his weapons here. I got to make a decision on Brock Purdy. All of a sudden, I trade one of these guys and your passing game just becomes mediocre, like very mediocre, and you don't have all the explosives. Brock Purdy averaged 10 yards damn near the 10th. Why? Because he had premium playmakers.
He did.
You trade one of these premium playmakers, there's no guarantee you replace these playmakers with premium talent, right?
That's obvious.
So now all of a sudden you're going to have a regression.
But I'm saying if I'm looking at the team as a whole, to act like they can't find. You have an offensive-minded head coach who.
Well, how come they? I mean, I think we've already gone through this exercise. Yeah. How many times have they tried to find wide receivers?
Well, again, Deebo was a second-round pick.
They just re-signed Chris Conley to a one-year deal. Chris Conley, number 84.
Who made some big plays down the stretch for them.
So you ready to give him a full-time role, Chris Conley?
No. No, he was actually excellent on special teams in the Super Bowl. It has been forgotten. He was excellent on special teams in the Super Bowl. I know we've forgotten about it. No, all I'm saying is that if I'm the 49ers, I understand fielding calls. I get it. I would be thinking long and hard about it too. If I was a run-first organization and I still had Christian McCaffrey in his prime, and I know that I'm going to restructure and keep George Kittle right now because George Kittle's been the constant, I don't think it's the end of the world to be answering the phone like, all right, you're instant just to listen to what everyone's saying.
Listen, I hear Christian McCaffrey. I hear you on Christian McCaffrey. I don't want a Christian McCaffrey here before anybody, and I love Christian McCaffrey. But you guys all told me last year you guys were so worried about the damn carries, 272 carries.
Yeah, but I got other backs. Elijah could play, and Jordan Mason could play.
Jordan Mason's not a full-time back. He's a part-time running back.
Yeah, but
he's a part-time running back who gets 5-10 carries. Yeah, and you saw the offense.
I'm not asking for 200 carries.
This offense without CMC is dramatically different. Dramatically different.
We're talking about 10 series a year. We're talking about 90 touches. We're talking about reducing CMC's
Those 90
workload.
touches could be the difference in winning a football game. winning and losing. These guys are not close to Christian McCaffrey.
No, of course.
This is why Shanahan said, Elijah Mitchell, you guys want me to play Elijah Mitchell when I got CMC?
When you're up 3 touchdowns in the fourth, I do want you to play.
But that's no guarantee you're always going to be up 3 touchdowns. But
last year you were. And what ended up happening, there were certain situations. Again, I counted somewhere 9 to 10 series where he should have just been out of there.
So if you're saying, hey, you be willing to move off 1 or 2 wide receivers? Sure.
Not willing. I would be fielding calls too, seeing what people are going to give you. I would. It's not sound business to pay $55-60 million to 2 wide receivers. Now, maybe for a year, I don't think you can do it long term because it's just unsustainable on a team that doesn't pass. If you're Cincinnati, it makes sense because you're going to throw the ball like crazy. But that's not what the Niners are. The ethos of Shanahan
that's not what they are. That's not what they are. But we saw when it was time to pass the ball in the biggest moments. This is why you need to invest in the passing game. Right? We saw when it was time to pass the ball in our biggest moments over the last 7 years with Kyle Shanahan, when it was time to throw the ball, what happened? You don't want to invest in the passing game. Well, Super Bowl 54 is going to happen. 2021 NFC Championship is going to happen. Philadelphia is going to happen. The Super Bowl last year is going to happen. And you're going to get behind by 17 points against Detroit.
I think fixing the O-line, and you could still draft another playmaker. I'll draft multiple playmakers. Like, you do need to get cheaper at skill positions. That is like, at some point in the future, you can't be paying $25 million to 5 guys on offense.
That would be unfair to Brock Purdy. And now you're not going to get the best out of Brock Purdy. You take away weapons from him.
Well, but if I shore up the offensive line and I run the ball more effectively, I'm doing a lot more pass action, which is what they want to do, play action.
Run the ball all right.
Look, people don't have to agree. I'm just saying, it might not be the worst thing. Listen, it might not.
I don't disagree that they need another offensive lineman, but they're going to run back the same starters.
Probably.
Burford, Feliciano, and McKivitz are back. They're all back, folks.
So and
Brindle's all back. So they're going to draft They're going to draft an O-lineman. That's done. That's already baked into the equation. But why am I giving up playmakers for my 3rd-year quarterback?
Because I can't afford everyone, it seems like.
You can't afford them this year. You can afford to pay Ayuk and then move off of Debo after next year.
So you're ready to give Brandon Ayuk $50 million guaranteed?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I would. Absolutely. I need Brandon Ayuk against Kansas City. We go back to play Philadelphia. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. They're not looking to regress and give up playmakers. You know what they did? They said, we need more playmakers. Let's go get Saquon Barkley. Now they got Saquon, Dallas Goedert. They signed another wide receiver. They got A.J. Brown.
But they've taken a hit on their offensive and defensive lines with 2 retirements.
Kelsey retired. They'll find a center, but they got Lane Johnson. They got Landon Dickinson. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to pay Devontae soon. They've got some decisions coming up. This is how the NFL works. Like, you can't pay everyone.
All right. Well,
the Baltimore Ravens just lost a ton of guys in free agency.
Don't pay Ayuk. Draft another wide receiver. Let's see how that works out. Let's see how it works out. Go ahead, trade Ayuk, because for this team, it seems like they always find playmakers.
No, I'm just saying, like, I do believe they're going to have to make a decision.
Like, let's look at the draft history here. Lubman, I want to get you involved here. You pull it up. I'll
give it to you right now. 2017, like right off the top. Solomon Thomas, and then you took Reuben Foster. You didn't have a 2nd-round pick. Your 3rd-round pick, off the top of my head, was a running back, Joe Williams.
How'd that work out?
It didn't work out at all. And then 5th round, you had C.J. Beathard also in the 3rd round. This is off the top of my head.
How'd that work
Kittle in the 5th round.
How'd that work out?
Not great.
Kittle worked out.
Kittle was amazing.
Kittle's worked out.
You also took Adrian Colbert, I believe, that year, who played
7th
safety
round pick.
for 1 year for you.
So skill position. I'm just looking at skill positions. That's all I care about.
And then 2018, you took Mac McGlinchey
2017,
and Dante Pettis.
Hold on, let's go back to 2017 for a second. Kello Witherspoon, 3rd round. All right, Joe Williams, 4th round.
Hello, I forgot about him.
Joe Williams, 4th round.
All right.
Retired.
I was kind of close.
Retired. Retired. That's why you should, it's good to do it off the top of the head, but sometimes, if you
I was playing the game.
Trent Taylor, 5th round.
Taylor, forgot about him.
How'd that work out?
I mean, I thought that he was going to be a player, but he's a 5th-round pick.
Right. A lot of people remember his short area quickness, all that stuff.
No, the best was the next year when he got his back shaved, and the play-by-play guy was like, "It's not a big procedure. Everyone does it." And I'm like, his back was shaved. The spine was shaved.
I mean, it's unbelievable. So then you take Dante Pettis in the 2nd round, and Softy up in Seattle. Text me right away. That's a bad pick, bro. I'm telling you, bro. It's a bad pick.
Catch a touchdown week 1 in Minnesota.
Great. We lost that game.
He also
the
beat
Niners
the Niners
lost that game.
when
he
was
also
the
beat
Bears.
it. I was at that game. I know. I was going to the bathroom. I came back and everybody's cheering. I'm like, what's going on? Dante Pettis running into the end zone. So then, Dante Pettis, second round in 2018. You took Richie James Jr. in the 7th round.
He's been in the NFL for quite some time. That was a
Richie
good
James
pick.
Jr. almost gave us the Super Bowl.
I know. It was a good pick, though. Like, I have to give them credit.
How was that a good pick?
Well, they assessed the right guy. That guy's been in the league for how many years?
So Trent Taylor's still in the league?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're good players.
Well,
it didn't work out for the 49ers.
It didn't work out for the Niners, but those were good players to pick.
Stop.
What?
Stop.
What?
Don't. Good players to pick.
I think they're
What
still in the
have
league.
Yeah. Hey, Richie James Jr. is about to get cut by Kansas City. Almost blew the Super Bowl.
Well,
Trent Taylor's a punt returner for
Richie
crying
James
out loud.
Jr. has stuck around a lot longer than we all thought.
Oh, man.
He should thank Shanahan.
No, we should be crushing Shanahan for not using Richie James Jr. because on Thursday Night Football during the pandemic, he had 8 catches for like 170. And it's like, damn, Richie James Jr. can do that. Why you been burying him on the depth chart?
River Craycraft would have no career without Shanahan.
All right, so 2019, Deebo Samuel, 2nd round pick. I love it.
Yeah, and
that's worked out, to say the least. Jalen Hurd, 3rd round pick.
Who would have been a player if he didn't get hurt? He would have been. You were as excited as anyone.
We talked about that preseason game over and over, and he never stepped on the field again. All right? All right, like, come on, man. What are we doing here?
Highlights.
All right, 2021. 2021.
Unlimited possibilities.
Do we need to go down the Trey Lance rabbit hole again? Because we know that hasn't worked out.
What about 2020? They drafted Ayuk.
Hold on. Oh, yeah, okay. I skipped over.
Yeah,
you know what?
over.
My bad. 2020, Ayuk.
Yeah.
And you guys want to trade this guy
really
now.
They only
you guys want to trade Ayuk.
A 2nd round or higher. They've really only skill position. They've really only whiffed on Dante Pettis. 2nd round or higher.
All right, 2nd round or higher. Okay, all right. Now we're changing the goalposts. Now we're moving the goalposts.
We are.
Because in the 3rd round in 2021, you drafted Trey Sermon. And I jumped up out my seat, was like, I'm more excited about that pick than Trey Lance. And yeah, both those guys flamed. Trey and Trey, both out of here. All right?
Oh, but Sermon gave the Eagles so much intel on us.
Now 6th round pick Elijah Mitchell.
That's a player.
But he's obviously not the guy you want to be your bell cow because you traded for Christian McCaffrey.
And don't forget Breida earlier, 7th round or undrafted that 1 year.
He was solid.
Jordan Mason, undrafted.
He was all right.
They've done a pretty good job. Juwan Jennings, 7th round.
They've done okay.
I mean, look, you want to throw all these misses in my face. There are some hits.
There's some hits.
I mean, Charlie Warner just got a 3 here. I couldn't even say it out loud. I couldn't even say it with a straight face.
Come on, man. I'm not trading Brendan. Brendan Ayuk is a top 10, top 15 wide receiver in this league. I'm not trading him. I don't want to trade him. I'm not. Who's that in there? Oh, some of my guys from Jack's Restaurant. What's up, Jax? I'll come in here in a second. Let's get the film on mic, man. I'm tired. You guys are killing me.
All I'm saying is that they'll find a way to move the ball.
Yeah,
I want to keep them all.
You know what?
I want to keep them all.
When you kept them all this past year, you scored touchdowns and then you scored 30 a game.
Not everybody can go.
Yeah, you get rid of these playmakers and you're going from 29 a game to 22 a game, and you're losing a lot more games.
Well, maybe if I have a defensive coordinator on the sidelines, my guys up, I'll hold them to 16.
No, let's go back to Steve. See, because you lost the argument. You lost this argument.
Can I be honest? You did disagree with me, correct?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. Didn't make any sense. I was waiting for you. I was trying to agree with you. And you spent 3 minutes talking about God knows what. And I'm just like, all right, here we go again.
We're a run-first team.